with a single bullet hitting Aiden and killing him. Now, over 2 weeks later, the California Highway Patrol has made arrests. 24-year-old Marcus Ariz and 23-year-old Win Lee arrested at their home in Costa Mesa. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Gun violence surging this spring, and ABC's Andrew Dimbert says
very often it's innocent children caught in the crossfire. So far this year, at least 307 children under the age of 11 have been injured by gun violence, 129 killed. But for teens ages 12 to 17, the numbers are even more devastating. Nearly 1,300 injured and more than 500 losing their lives to gun violence in just the first half of the year.
California declaring a drought emergency. The state's 1,600 reservoirs 50% lower than they should be at this time of year. The rate of vaccines going into arms has been slowing in recent weeks. Dr. Anthony Fauci and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden visiting Harlem over the weekend.
This is how we get the word out. We want everyone 12 and older to come get vaccinated. We're really working hard because we have to get back to life as normal.
So far, 63% of U.S. adults have received at least one COVID vaccine, the White House pushing for 70% fully vaccinated by the 4th of July. Blue Origin, the space company owned by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, has announced that Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and his brother Mark will be joining the winner of the first space tourism flight on July 20th. Bidding's already up to $2.8 million for the half-hour-long ride. You're listening to ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A North Carolina high school now facing threats after a student draped a Mexican flag over his graduation gown during the service and was temporarily denied his diploma. Here's ABC's Megan Tavrizian.
Asheboro police say they're investigating one email that said, "I'm going to shoot up this school if you don't give that young man his diploma." They say at least 10 emails threatening violence were sent to school employees. Asheboro High School says Lopez was originally denied his diploma because he violated the dress code. In a statement, the school says the incident is not about the Mexican flag, adding it supports our students' expressions of their heritage in the appropriate time and place.
And a similar situation for Southwest Legacy High in Texas. Ashley Saucedo waved a Mexican flag during graduation on Saturday and was then escorted out of the Alamo Dome.
I just feel emotional because my parents are, Mexicanos, and they deserve to see a diploma in my hands.
The school says she was never denied her diploma. One member of Congress suing another over the January 6th riot. Republican Congressman Mo Brooks served with a suit from Democrat Eric Swalwell, accusing Brooks and other allies of former President Trump of inciting violence. And teens are cashing in on summer jobs with businesses strapped for workers. Nearly a third of American teens have now picked up jobs. Last spring, only about 20% of 16 to 19-year-olds were finding summer work. This is ABC News.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With the power and capacity your vehicle demands, Superstart batteries are designed for lasting performance and consistent starts. Turn the key with confidence with Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the West.
Our summer-like weather pattern continues for the next several days. We'll have mainly cloudy skies today. A couple of showers and thunderstorms will be possible in the afternoon and evening. High temperatures in the middle to upper 80s. Tonight, a couple of isolated storms, then temperatures down into the upper 60s to lower 70s. Tuesday, we'll have mostly cloudy skies, scattered storms possible again with high temperatures in the middle to upper 80s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
The word of the day is cloudy, pretty much cloudy all day today. There may be some possibilities of some shower activity this afternoon and tonight. Right now, we're starting our day at 70, warming up to 81. Now, rain's in the forecast off and on throughout most of the week. Now, the only clear day that I see right now without any possibility of showers is Saturday. And Saturday's going to be kind of nice with no possibility of rain. But keep your umbrellas handy, your rain jackets handy, because it may come and it goes. It'll come and it go. But there is an 80% chance of rain today and 60% chance tonight. And that drops back down to back up to 70 on Tuesday. So rain is going to be a part of our vocabulary for most of the week. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning's Report. First, I have these death announcements. Henry N. Guffey, age 85, of Rutherfordton, died Friday, June 4th at Accordius Health at Rutherfordton. The family will receive friends from 10 a.m. until 11 o'clock in the church sanctuary today. The funeral service will be at Second Baptist Church of Rutherfordton at 11 o'clock today, with Reverend Dr. Keith Stevenson, Reverend Brendan Wood officiating. Burial will be at Eternal Hills Memorial Park with military honors provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Jimmy N. Guffey. Marie W. Midge Yeldon has passed away. The memorial service will be held 2 o'clock Saturday, June 12th at First United Methodist Church of Rutherfordton with Reverend Dr. In Young Lee officiating. Burial of the ashes in the church memorial garden. Following the burial, a reception will be held in the fellowship hall. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Midge Yelton. Mrs. Willie B. Hoyle, a 97 of Ellenboro, died Friday, June 4th. A graveside service will be conducted. Was conducted yesterday at the New Hope United Methodist Church Cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Mrs. Willie B. Hoyle of Ellenboro. George Michael Harden, 67 of Ellenboro, died Friday, June 4th. The Rutherford County Honor Guard will render military rites on the ground of Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home 5:30 today. Visitation will be from 6 until 8 o'clock today at Washburn and Dorsey. For George Michael Harden of Ellenboro. Morel Francis Reed Gilbert of Rutherfordton passed away May 30th. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock p.m. on June 19th at Spencer Baptist Church with Reverend Bruce Caldwell officiating. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 in the Family Life Center of Spencer. For Morel Francis Reed Gilbert. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, can be heard this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon call-around report. More information more often right here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB. Well, the Braves had a pretty good weekend. On Saturday, they beat the Dodgers 6-4. Then yesterday, they beat the LA Dodgers 4-2. Now, they're taking the day off. No game today, but they'll be back in action tomorrow against the Philadelphia Phillies, and we'll have that game for you. So we stand by for all the sports. We'll be doing some Forest City Owls games coming up here pretty soon, the road games, and we encourage you to attend the home games and support our home team, the Forest City Owls. We'll get to the phones, call our round report coming up here in just a few moments on WCAB in Rutherfordton.
Back in the 1990s, screw administrators in New York and Los Angeles devised a plan to combat the spread of HIV/AIDS. They decided to give away condoms to junior high and high school students. The idea took off. Soon, school districts all over the country were handing out condoms to teenagers, encouraging them to have sex early and often, as long as it was safe sex, because there was no way we can stop them anyway, they said. Well, it's almost 25 years later now, and we are seeing how it worked out thanks to a study examining the massive condom giveaway. Researchers wanted to know if the free condoms had any effect on teen pregnancy rates. The short answer is yes, it did. The study was published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, shows clear evidence that access to condoms in schools leads to an increase in teenage fertility. Bottom line, schools gave teenager condoms and permission to have sex, and teenagers rose to the occasion. They had sex. Now, who could have predicted that? Well, lots of people predicted it. I predicted it. But those who opposed the condom giveaways are ridiculed by liberals for advocating that teens be taught abstinence. That was also back when the president, Bill Clinton, was getting Lewinsky's in the Oval Office from his intern while claiming that it wasn't really sex. So we learned 25 years later that liberals were wrong again. Of course, they're not going to be held to account for screwing up the country because they never are.
Newt Gingrich, explaining the worst kind of identity theft, a crime that can cost you your home and is not covered by insurance or standard identity theft programs.
Your credit card company found suspicious charges on your card. That's simple identity theft. It's annoying, but they cover it. The crime you really need to worry about is home title theft, because it can cost you your home. The title documents to our homes are online now. The thief simply forges your signature in a quitclaim deed stating you sold your home, and he's the new owner. Then he borrows money on your home and leaves you in debt. You won't know until a late payment or eviction notice arrives. That's why I have Home Title Lock. The instant they detect tampering with my home's title, they help shut it down. You need to protect your home's title now.
Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. And enter RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's promo code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Good morning. Good morning.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
Get the most out of your tax refund with Bark Mobile's Refund Rack-Up event. Come in this tax season and get a great smartphone at a price you can't beat. Absolutely free. That's right. Get the popular LG Stylo 6 or LG K51 for free when you switch to Bark Mobile. Then rack up even more savings with unlimited data for $45 a month with AutoPay and take your tax refund to the max. Visit a store today to get the most with Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. Cedar shavings, 5.0 cubic feet, $7.99 per bag. They have Pontiac red potatoes, candy baked potatoes, $18 for 50 pound. River Run dog food, specially priced. Plenty of horse quality hay. Refill propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $8.69 for the 50-pound bag. Cardinal Tissue and Paper Towels, 6-pack, $4.49. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is the largest farm supply store, and you should come and see how much you can save. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
With the discovery of gold in Northern California, men came from everywhere to seek their fortune. Most worked the gold fields, but some found it easier to rob and plunder those who had done the working. During this time, some 11,000 Australians migrated to California. These were British criminals sent to Australia to serve their sentence. After serving their time, they were allowed to leave. Many came to California and became law-abiding citizens. Some didn't. A group of the non-law-abiding Australians, called the Sydney Ducks, came to San Francisco. Once a rancher caught the Sydney Ducks stealing cattle. He delivered them to the civil authority. They were set free. Then the gang went back to the rancher, stole his cattle again, and sold them to the butchers in San Francisco, who in turn sold the meat to the restaurants. During this time, several fires broke out in San Francisco, particularly in hotels. At first, it was thought to be careless travelers, but it was discovered the Sydney Ducks would rent a room and during the night set fire to a mattress, filling the hotel with smoke, thereby emptying it of guests. The Ducks would then visit the rooms, relieving them of any valuables. Juries were packed, witnesses bought, and the best lawyers hired with stolen funds. When a gang member was convicted, he was later released on a technicality. By 1851, the law-abiding citizens of San Francisco got fed up with the crime and corruption of the political system. They decided to do something about it. The next time we're together, we'll see just what happened. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
All right, it's 16 minutes after 7 o'clock now, 70 degrees here in Rutherfordton. Let's get started with our call around the county newscast, find out what's been going on over the weekend. We stop in first at the Sheriff's Department. Officer Randall, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great. Tell us what's been going on over the weekend.
Yes, sir. In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office has answered 242 calls, processed 19 arrests at the county jail, and currently have 177 incarcerated. Under our incident reports, we have a Matthew Scott Mann from 309 Emory Avenue reported a B&E to motor vehicle. Multiple items were taken out of the vehicle. We have a Luis Rodriguez from 302 Highland Avenue in Henrietta reported a B&E. Looks like 2 air conditioning units and a propane grill were taken in that. We have a Victor Frady from 421 Whitesides Road reported a larceny motor vehicle. Taken there was a 2000 Pontiac Montana van, gold in color. We have a Bobby Henson from Durham Road in Mooresboro reported a breaking and entering. Taken there was various tools, a radio, and a CD player. We have a Marvin Arland from Jacobs Lane in Rutherford reported a breaking and entering. Taken there was looks like jewelry and some clothing items. We have a Devin Clark from Mooresboro reported a identity fraud case. We have Dollar General from Main Street, Ellenboro, reported a misdemeanor larceny. We have In His Hands Independent Baptist Church from Hopewell Road in Ellenboro, reported a misdemeanor larceny. It looks like their converter off their church van was taken, and the air conditioning line was damaged in that incident. Under our arrest reports, we have a Sherry Gail Maccabee, 49-year-old white female of Rutherford, was charged with breaking and entering, assault on a government official, and resisting an officer. She was given a $17,500 secured bond. We have a Elena Rodriguez, 28-year-old white female of Morrisboro, was charged with 1 count of obtaining property by false pretense, given a $10,000 unsecured bond. We have a Elena Danielle Haney, 29-year-old female of Ellenboro, charged with 2 counts, failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $1,500 secured bond. We have a Amber Self, 32-year-old white female of Ellenborough, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 unsecured bond. We have a Christina Nicole Teague, 32-year-old white female, Rutherford, charged with one count of misuse of 911, given a $1,000 secured bond. We have a Michael Sean Green, 40-year-old white male of Ellenborough, charged with one count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secured bond. We have a Tony Hodge, 30-year-old white male of Ellenborough, charged with possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia, given a $10,000 secured bond. We have a Billy Jack Stevenson, 49-year-old white male of Bavard, charged with, looks like failure to appear on a felony, given a $10,000 secured bond. We have a Kagan Henson of Chesney, charged with multiple counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor and charged with misdemeanor larceny, given a $2,500 secured bond. We have a Martin Moreno, 29-year-old Hispanic male of Spindale, charged with one count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $4,000 secured bond. We have a Corey Williams, 36-year-old white male of Spindale, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $2,000 secured bond. We have a Charlie Ellison, 24-year-old white female of Far City, charged with one count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secured bond. We have a Buddy Suttles, 42-year-old white male of Far City, charged with one count of communicating threats. Looks like no bond listed on that. And we have a Jimmy Weston Robson, 49-year-old white male of Far City, charged with speeding to elude arrest, possession of Schedule II, and possession of drug paraphernalia, given a $15,000 secure bond on that. And that's all we have.
Officer Brenda, I wish y'all would get a little busy over there. It seems like you don't have anything to do.
Yeah, it seems like they took care of it all over the weekend, I hope.
A busy weekend. Thanks for the report, and you have a safe day out there.
You too, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Let's check in now with Jessica at 911 Communications, see what kind of activity they've had over the weekend. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
In the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 1,260 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 110 EMS calls, 69 for rescue. Law enforcement Sheriff's Office responded 242, Far City to 125, Lake Lure to 16, Rutherford to 85, Spindale to 102. Fire calls Bills Creek respond to a vehicle accident and also to a structure fire assisted by Shingle Hollow, Green Hill, and Fairfield. Cliffside respond to a vehicle accident. Green Hill respond to a vehicle accident. Rutherford respond to a vehicle accident. SDA respond to a vehicle accident. Spindale respond to a residential fire alarm, and Shingle Hollow respond to a vehicle accident. And that's all we've got today.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye. And we're checking with SDO, Fire District now, and see what's coming up over there. A 77-year-old woman was killed Thursday morning when she was hit by a tow truck Betty Pack Newton and her husband were traveling down US 74 near Main Street in Mooresboro at about 11:15 a.m. when their car broke down. Living about a half a mile away, Newton got out of her car with the intention of walking home or getting help. Her husband was still in the driver's seat when she stepped onto the 4-lane highway and was struck by a tow truck that was traveling east on US 74. The speed limit is 55 miles per hour in that section of road. The truck driver wasn't able to avoid the collision, according to Trooper B.D. Thies with the Highway Patrol. He did everything he could to try to avoid her, but couldn't stop fast enough, he said. No charges have been filed in that incident. Truck struck and killed by the tow truck. Now here's the SDO Fire District Report with Ruby Taylor. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report from the weekend?
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday counter, I've got Anna Kite and D.D. Watkins having birthdays, and hope these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the neck today and going to the arms tomorrow. And, Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Now we're going up to the Fairfield Mountains Fire District now and talk with Gary Wilson, see what kind of activity they've had over the weekend. Check in with Gary right now. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing great. How was your weekend?
It was pretty good, pretty quiet. We had one call, assisted Bills Creek with a outbuilding fire, and it was pretty much taken care of by the time we got there. And I think Bills Creek ran about 3 calls total for the weekend, and didn't get no rain out of them clouds. There's plenty of them around, but couldn't squeeze a drop out of them.
We'll get some this week, though, I believe.
Maybe we'll get some this coming week, hopefully so. And I'm sitting warm this morning, sitting on about 69 degrees and kind of humid out there. It's been pretty sticky weather this weekend. And you got one announcement coming up Tuesday from 9 to 1:30. It'll be Red Cross be having a blood drive out at Bills Creek Fire Department. So if you hadn't signed up, go ahead and get signed up with them. And if you forget to sign up, they do walk-ins also. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that. And Red Cross can always use a little boost in their blood supply.
Yes.
And that's about all we got up here this morning, Jim. Everything else going on pretty good.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. Have a good Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket cost for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. Bob Hodges reporting next from the Hudlow Fire District on this Monday morning. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Monday morning.
How are you doing today?
We're doing just fine on this Monday morning up here. Got partly cloudy skies. We had a little sprinkle of rain move through a while ago. Not much. Just moved through fast. But maybe we'll get a little more sometime today there. It's getting dry up here. And we need it for our gardens.
Yes, we do.
And our grass is getting dry, too. It wouldn't hurt that either. So, but, Jim, up here with the fire department over the weekend, we hadn't had anything bad happen. We've answered a few medical calls, hadn't had any fire or wreck calls so far. And so far this morning, things going along good, Jim. Maybe it'll stay that way all day today.
Surely out of all these cloudy, rainy predictions this week, we'll get some rain out of the forecast. Every day looks like it's calling for some rain.
Well, surely we'll get a little shower sometime or another there. I noticed Friday or Saturday one down Forest City got a pretty good shower, but we didn't get a sprinkle up this way. So
Isn't that something?
That's the way it is in the summertime. These thunder showers, they'll rain in one spot and dry in another. So maybe we'll get one of them showers sometime today there. We need it. So
we'll all come together one of these days and we'll all get it at the same time.
We'll all get the same time. That's right. We'll have a wet spell.
That's right.
Well, Jim, that's about it up here. So you take care and have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. I hope you do too, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Bob Hodge reporting from Hudlow Fire District.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Well, what do you need from the store? Maybe some pots and pans, maybe some work gloves or some garden tools, or maybe some garden seeds, or maybe some baskets of gifts. Maybe they want a specialized birthday package fixed up just for you. Well, you can get all of that plus more at our good friends over at Washburn General Store. Why don't you check with them today? If you're buying something somewhere else, consider shopping right here at home at the historically significant Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Now let's check in with the Cherry Mountain Fire District, not too far down the road from Washburn Store. Here's Sue Price. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How you feeling today?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Good. Now, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department, and I don't have a single birthday on either one of my calendars for today, so not anybody celebrating that I know of. But we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, there'll be a blood drive at the Golden Valley Community Club. That's June 14th from 3 to 7 p.m. So if you can give blood, come on out for that, because it's always needed. Never know when you're going to need it yourself. And so far, it's just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Tim.
Thanks, Sue. You too. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye-bye.
This is for those who always show they care, who told their kids everyone 12 and older is eligible for a COVID vaccine. Those who explain to their cousins that vaccines prevent nearly 100% of hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19. This is for the ones protecting those they love. Thank you.
We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Well, the Braves are off tonight. They had a pretty good weekend. They beat the Braves both Saturday and Sunday. Now, on Friday, the Dodgers beat the Braves 9-5, but the Braves came back and won 2 of those in a row. Now, they're off today and playing the Philadelphia Phillies Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we'll have all that game right here. Now, Thursday's game is an afternoon game, but the rest of them are nighttime games, 7:05 first pitch. We're going up to Shingle Hollow now. Shingle Hollow Fire District is our next aim, and that's where Tina White is to give us all the news. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning from Shingle Hollow.
You sound happy this morning. You must have had a good weekend.
Oh, I've had a great weekend. We've had our church directory at Piney Knob. We've been taking pictures. So I was at church Wednesday, and then all day Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. And then yesterday there was a birthday party from 3 to 5, so I just went to morning service, came home, went back at 3, and stayed till about 7 last night.
Goodness gracious.
Nothing better. Nothing better. Oh, it's great to be in the house of the Lord, that's for sure.
Even if you're making pictures.
Yeah, even if I really enjoyed it because I got to meet and talk with people that I hadn't been able to talk with since this COVID stuff, because we've been doing the outside parking lot radio, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I really enjoyed it.
Good.
Well, today is a special day for me because the Lord blessed me with one of my biggest dreams 22 years ago today.
Really?
I bet you can guess what it was.
22 years ago today, you got married.
You're close. You're close. I had a son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my son turns 22 today. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like it should be about 12, but time flies when you're having fun.
It does, doesn't it? So you have two children.
I do. Jeremiah Earls is my oldest, and I am wishing him a very happy birthday today. God really blessed me. I'm thankful that he's my son, and I get to be his mama.
That's good.
And then there's no birthdays on either birthday calendar, and I from Pleasant Grove or Piney Knob, and I saw Wayne Stafford on Thursday. Robert Lee Axley's funeral was over at the church, and that's his uncle. And he said he'd get a calendar to me as soon as he could.
Well, good.
For Pilgrim Way, and they had a big homecoming over the weekend, and it was 15th anniversary of the church, and they had a blast the whole weekend from what I can tell. So God's really been good to Shingle Hollow, and we're very thankful for that. No announcements, 71 degrees, and the fire departments were busy. Shingle Hollow Fire Department had a bad motor vehicle accident, and they also helped Bills Creek with a structure fire. And I think Green Hill assisted Shingle Hollow with the motor vehicle accident. We don't know how the outcome of the accident. I think people were sent to the hospital, and we've been praying for those. And that's all I've got.
Well, it sounds like a busy, busy time up there.
It has been.
I appreciate you keeping eye on things for us.
Nevaeh said she wanted to say she's going to be at horse camp all week to have people to pray for her mama because she's not going to be here.
Being a horse camp?
Yeah, it's a Christian camp where they get to do horseback riding, and it's up in a place called Plum Creek. It's about an hour away.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
You're going to have fun.
Yeah, that's
I'll miss her, but she'll be fine.
That'll be great.
Well, everybody have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, see you, Tina. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow. It's 7:38 now. And let's see about getting your car inspected or oil changed.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, is this Union Mills where I've stopped?
Yes, this is Union Mills. Get out and come on in.
Is this Brenda Kelly?
It is. This is the party to whom you're speaking.
How you feeling this Monday morning?
I'm feeling mighty fine with my hands.
You're all right this morning, I'll tell you.
But we hope everybody's having a good day, don't we?
We do, absolutely.
Yeah, we might get some rain, right?
We're hoping to get a little bit of rain, sure enough.
Yeah, make them tomatoes grow. You got tomato plants set out?
I do, yeah.
Well, good.
I hope they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You have some?
Yeah, I've got, I think either 6 or 8, I forget. Somebody give me 2. They call them cherry tomatoes. I call them tomatoes, but they're Cherokee purple. I don't know if I like them or not.
Yeah.
I've seen them, but I don't think I like them.
Yeah, I've got one of those. I've never had one either, but I'm going to try them this year. That's the only one of mine's got tomatoes on it already.
Oh, I hadn't even been out there in the garden to look to see if mine's got tomatoes on them, but they're up pretty good size, so they should have.
You got to go talk to them now. You got to talk to them.
You think I ought to go talk to them?
Yeah.
Say, now, come on, y'all be good and produce real good. Oh, let's see. I've got 64 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one birthday, and that's Christopher Piercy, so we hope he has a great old big day on his special day. I think he turns 20 today. And in ways of announcements, we got a buffet breakfast at the Gilkey School Community Center. Starts at 7 a.m. and goes to 10 a.m., and that'll be Saturday, June the 12th. Adults, $7. Kids, 6 to 12, $3. Kids 5 and under, free. It's all you can eat. Sausage, bacon, liver mush, eggs, gravy, biscuits, and all the trimmings. And the money goes to help rebuild the old school. And other than that, I don't have nothing going on that I know of. So that's good.
Well, stay happy up there, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
See you. Bye-bye. And it's time to take a little recliner now. We like to rest up a little bit once in a while.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now we're stopping over in Ellenboro, North Carolina, US of A. And Luther Gilligan, good morning.
Good morning to you, too. It's a good day down here.
Good day to be alive, isn't it?
It is. Coffee's good. Conversation's good. Just a good day.
You got a good wife to look after you? That's great.
Yeah, she takes good care of me.
Yeah.
Don't know what I do without her. But it's quiet. Well, we had a quiet weekend. Fire department only had 2 calls, and one about 11 o'clock Saturday night, one about 7:30 last night. Other than that, they're quiet this morning. Just nothing going on. It's quiet everywhere. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You keep improving, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's Luther Gilligan, still recuperating from his surgery. Continuing to hope he gets along just fine. Now it's time for birthdays for the 7th day of June, June 7th. If you're celebrating a birthday, we'd love to hear from you. 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries can be called into us now. 287-3356. And we'll have a big celebration, give you a big shout out. Birthdays, call them in now. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Good morning. As we are experiencing the impact of COVID-19 Let's stop predicting and let's prepare. Life changes, and then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called the unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. A job loss, a change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call me today at 828-287-9197. Our office is located at Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. This is Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
Well, of course, you know about the delectable, delicious, wonderful, mouth-watering Granny B's Daylight Donut, but have you experienced the delicious Granny B's Pizza Combo? Yep, you heard me right. Pizza Combo at Granny B's. You can choose from 15 different combinations. What's your preference? Order yours Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. or 9 o'clock. Sometimes they're open until 9. Here's the phone number to call, 286-9012. You'll never go back to the others once you've had a Granny B's Combo Pizza. Oh, sure, it's okay to save a little room for one of Granny B's Daylight Donuts. That'll be nice. Granny B's, West Main Street in Spindale.
Happy birthday.
Birthday wishes going out to Brittany Trotter, 26, teacher at Spindale Elementary, and Shannon Dillard over in Forest City is having a birthday. Landon Lane, 21, over in Cane Creek, also celebrating. So happy birthday to these fine folks. We hope you have many, many more. Now stand by. Keys to Confident Living coming up. And then top of the hour, a little after 8 o'clock, we'll check on the job market for you to see where some jobs are. We have other stories of interest from here and there, all right here on WCAB.
On July the 15th, 1986, Roger Clemens, the sizzling right-hander for the Boston Red Sox, started his first All-Star game. In the second inning, he came to bat, something that he hadn't done in years because of the American League's designated hitter rule. He took a few uncertain practice swings and then looked out at his forbidding opponent, Dwight Gooden, who the previous year had won the Cy Young Award. Gooden wound up and threw a white-hot fastball past Clemens. With an embarrassed smile on his face, Clemens stepped out of the box and asked Gary Carter, "Is that what my pitches look like?" "You bet it is," replied Carter. Although Clemens quickly struck out, he went on to pitch 3 perfect innings and be named the game's most valuable player. From that day on, he later said, with a fresh reminder of how overpowering a good fastball is, he pitched with far greater boldness. Sometimes we forget God's power within us. We think only in our small frame of reference. We stand at a distance and compare ourselves with others and usually think we can't do it. But when we think of having God's power, great things can happen. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for today's Key to Confident Living are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
WCAB, Rutherford John.
heat wave of the summer, and it's not even summer yet. Much warmer than usual in the Midwest. ABC meteorologist Rob Marciano has more on the scorcher in the east.
Heat advisories are up for some of the big cities in Philadelphia and Hartford, inland. You get away from that sea breeze, and you talk temperatures that will be lower to mid-90s, and you couple in the humidity, and it feels even warmer than that. So that's where we get the dangerous heat from. But to get it this early in the year, it is certainly a signal that climate change is impacting, well, our warm weather for sure.
There are fire warnings up in Arizona and Oregon. The reservoirs in California 50% below what they should be at this time of year. 2 suspects under arrest in the freeway shooting death of 6-year-old Aiden Leos last month in Southern California. This man attended a memorial to Aiden near the site of the shooting.
Parents will never get what they lost, and that's as a parent, a soul has been taken and you can never get it back, but maybe it could give them some peace of mind.
The arrest coming at the end of another weekend filled with gun violence.
Very often, it's innocent children caught in the crossfire. In New York, Justin Wallace, a 10-year-old boy, killed. His uncle wounded when a suspect opened fire into his home. In Minneapolis, a 6-year-old, Anaya Allen, struck in the head by a stray bullet while riding in a car with her mom, later dying at the hospital. So far this year, at least 307 children under the age of 11 have been injured by gun violence, 129 killed. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, New York.
Vice President Kamala Harris is in Guatemala. Later today, she will fly to Mexico. She's there to discuss the origins of the migration of so many from Central America to the United States. We knew she was coming, and now it's official. Archie has a sister.
Meghan and Harry announcing the birth of their second child, a girl, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, named after her great-grandmother, the Queen. Lilibet is her nickname, and her late grandmother, Princess Diana.
That's ABC's Kaylee Hartung. The couple plans to call her Lily. You're listening to ABC News.
Oil drilling investments involve a high degree of risk and are only suitable for SEC-accredited investors. Attention, high net worth investors. Are you tired of paying the IRS more and more each year? When it comes to tax-advantaged investments, one commodity continues to stand alone above all others, and that is domestic oil drilling. When you invest in oil, you get a 100% tax write-off. Oil prices are on an upward move and are predicted to go even higher. Why? The OPEC cuts. Cancellation of the pipeline and the pent-up demand from the pandemic has created the perfect storm for oil prices to shoot upward. Opportunity is banging on the door. Support domestic U.S. oil drilling and production and make your patriotic investment in oil and get a complete 100% tax deduction write-off. Call Encore Energy at 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691. 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691.
The Supreme Court could decide as soon as today if it will hear a case around the requirement that men, but not women, have to register for the draft when they turn 18. The last time there was a draft was during the Vietnam War. The requirement, one of the last few in federal law that treats men and women differently. France is now fining Google nearly $270 million for abusing its position in the online ad industry. The head of the French Competition Authority calls the decision unprecedented. Leader of one Central American country now backing Bitcoin.
In a recorded message played back at a Bitcoin conference in Miami over the weekend, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele saying he'll propose legislation to the country's Congress making Bitcoin legal tender in the Central American nation. Bukele says the move would bring financial inclusion to thousands outside of the formal economy. There's another potential benefit. El Salvador citizens living in the U.S. send home more than $6 billion a year in remittances. Bukele says sending those funds back via Bitcoin would save a big chunk of those money transfers currently lost to intermediaries. Dave Packer, ABC News.
The best tasting tap water in the world is flowing out of faucets in Australia. The Water and Rosarden judged the best municipal water at the Berkeley Springs International Water Tasting Contest in Virginia. Tops in the United States, the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. The judges tasting water from 16 different countries. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With the power and capacity your vehicle demands, Superstart batteries are designed for lasting performance and consistent starts. Turn the key with confidence with Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Jesse James Railroad Express is becoming the Rutherford County hotspot with new lunch menu,
quarter pounder Angus beef burger topped with bacon, cheddar cheese, bang bang sauce, and onion rings, or the new 5-3-1 burger, half-pound charbroiled Angus burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a toasted bun. It's everything that Big Mac wishes it could be. On top of that, milkshakes, hand-dipped ice cream also available. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 until 4. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Call them at 828-447-4644. 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, Mondays only. That's 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. All aboard.
Keep your umbrellas handy this week. We have a fairly unsettled weather pattern with a lot of moisture moving in from the south. Mostly cloudy today, a few showers and thunderstorms possible with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Some isolated storms possible overnight tonight with low temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s. And mostly cloudy skies Tuesday with scattered showers and thunderstorms and high temperatures back in the middle to upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
We got just a little bit of a rain shower a moment ago. I think we had 27 drops of rain, and then it moved on out. Still cloudy out there. We may get some more, but we expect about 122 drops of rain sometime this morning. But rain's in the forecast off and on throughout most of the week till we get to Saturday, and Saturday looks good again. No rain on Saturday. Right now it's 71 degrees and cloudy skies, and maybe raining somewhere you are. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, and it is Monday, and we like to talk with Anita on Monday to find out where some job opportunities are. Good morning, Anita. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. It actually rained on me coming in, and it was raining here at the office whenever I up here in Rutherfordton, so just a little bit ago.
Yeah, so maybe getting around the community.
Yeah, it's spreading out a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
We have a part-time sales associate in Forest City that does require a high school diploma. The pay is depending on experience. We have a CNA assistant in Rutherfordton that requires no education, no experience. Then we have a caregiver home health aide in Rutherfordton that doesn't require any education or experience. We have a direct support professional up in Rutherfordton that does require a high school diploma. We have a crew member in Far City that is $10 to $12 an hour, doesn't require experience or any education. An assistant manager, $11 to $14 an hour. That requires no high school, no experience, and that is in Spindale, Farsi, and Rutherfordton. And then we need a senior manufacturing engineer up in Rutherfordton that does require a year's experience. We have a tool repair, mold maintenance in Spindale. They want a high school diploma and 3 years experience. We have a sewing machine operator out in Lynn that is $10 to $12 an hour. They do want a high school diploma, and they would like 6 months' experience. Then we have in Golden Valley a third shift supervisor in Bostic. That is $16 to $21 an hour. That does require a 2-year degree, or 2 years of education, I should say, 2 years of college. And then we have a maintenance and repair worker in Far City. That is $14 to $22 an hour. That requires at least 6 months' experience. We have a field service mechanic in Columbus that requires a high school diploma and a year's experience. And we also have a social worker out in Spindale, and that does require a bachelor's degree and 3 years' experience. Then for any of these jobs, you're welcome to contact us at 223 on Charlotte Road. We also are having, there's going to be a hiring event on the 15th here in the office for McDonald's, and they're going to be doing some hiring, and there's a hiring event out at Arbor Meritor on the 17th. So, and any more questions about any of those hiring events, you're welcome to give us a call here at the office.
Pretty good wages out there.
Yeah, they're actually increasing a little more than what I've noticed and stuff, and more and more their different ones are posting a different hiring and stuff. So,
I noticed the North Carolina legislature is trying to get a bill passed where they're going to stop paying people to stay at home, and so that may encourage some folks to start finding some of these jobs.
Yeah, that'll help fill some of these jobs. What's so funny is we did have a little bit of a shortage even before COVID, and so and I think that was where people were starting to retire and stuff and all. And believe it or not, it depends on you, on the person, Manufacturing and hospitality and tourism, they actually pay pretty decent. They pay pretty good wages and
they
stuff.
Do. Yeah.
Yeah, more than what people realize and stuff. I know, years ago, everybody went to the cotton mills, and then the cotton mills shut down. People told their children, said, "Go get a high school diploma and go get a college degree." And but you can actually make a good living doing any of these other jobs without a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
For people that that might not want to go to college, or they might can use their hands.
Yeah.
They're real good at their hands and stuff. And
college
so
is not for everybody anyway. Everybody don't have to go to college.
That's right. That's right. I've got my niece and nephew. They're now they're smart. Of course,
yeah, sure.
I think they're smart. I guess we all think all our young'uns are smart. but they work good with their hands, and so I figure they'll be good in the manufacturing with the robotics and with all the different technology that some of the manufacturing is getting in now.
Nita, thank you so very much. I look forward to these reports on Monday, and you have a great week.
You too, dear. Thanks.
Bye-bye. It's 8:11. The Sheriff's Report with Officer Brandel coming up here in just a moment.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City will once again sponsor the Meet Me at the Fountain 5K race on July the 24th. And this year's race will be a live event, pending no changes in the current downward trend of the new COVID cases. Go to www.facebook.com/meetmeatthefountain5K for more information and to get sponsorship forms. All forms must be returned by July the 5th. Beneficiaries this year are the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Yoke Fellow, and the Chase Corner Ministries. And now the soda fountain is now fully open, and Smith's Drugs is no longer offering curbside for the fountain. However, the back door is still locked as Smith's Drugs continues curbside service for the pharmacy only. The COVID-19 vaccination is available Monday through Friday only, and walk-ins are welcome. Again, the soda fountain now open at Smith's Drugs. And don't forget the upcoming 5K race. So get your sponsorship forms at Smith's Drugs in Forest City.
A couple of stories from here and there this morning. According to the Shelby Star, a 77-year-old woman was killed Thursday morning when she was hit by a tow truck. Betty Pack Newton and her husband were traveling down US 74 near Main Street in Mooresboro at about 11:15 a.m. when their car broke down. Living about a half a mile away, Newton got out of the car with her intention of walking home or getting help. Her husband was still in the driver's seat when she stepped onto the four-lane highway and was struck by a tow truck that was traveling east on US 74. The speed limit is 55 miles per hour in that section of road, and the truck driver wasn't able to avoid the collision, according to Trooper B.D. Thies with the North Carolina Highway Patrol. Trooper said he did everything he could to try to avoid her, but he couldn't stop fast enough. No charges have been filed in that incident. Meanwhile, we hear a whole lot about defund the police and take the money away from the police department and put it somewhere else. Well, Asheville is experiencing the benefits or the lack of benefits of all of that. 84 police officers have left the department in Asheville since January. 84 police officers walked away in January. Now, here's some of the results of that. As a result of the staffing crisis, several changes in officer response will go into effect immediately in order to improve response time for emergency calls made to 911. This is according to the Public Information Officer, Christina Hallinge. Officers with Asheville Police Department, this is the city police, will no longer respond to some of these types of crimes. They will no longer respond to theft under $1,000 where there is no suspect information. This does not include stolen vehicles or guns. They will not respond to theft from a vehicle where there is no suspect information, minimal damage and or graffiti to property where there is no suspect information, non-life-threatening harassing phone calls, does not include incidents that are related to domestic violence and or stalking. They will not respond to fraud, scams, or identity theft. Asheville police will not respond to simple assaults that are reported after they have occurred. They will not respond to reports that do not require immediate police action and or enforcement information-only reports. They will not do funeral escorts. They will not respond to lost and found property. and trespassing where the property owner does not want to press charges. In addition, noise complaints made during normal business hours and after hours may have a significant delay in response, according to the Public Information Officer of Nashville, D.C. They do not have the police in Nashville PD. They do not have the police officers to respond because they're not funding the police departments anymore. Nashville, among all places, need police protection, but that's the result of the liberal way of getting things done. Let's defund the police. You see what happens in about 30 days. 50 minutes after 8 o'clock. Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment.
Whether you're buying or selling, downsizing or expanding, relocating or vacationing, RE/MAX Journey agents have the tools and experience to help you to go from sale to sold. That's why no one sells more homes than RE/MAX. Don't worry, they've done this a million times. Download the new RE/MAX app today. Visit the local RE/MAX Journey team at 121 Laurel Drive in Rutherfordton or call them at 828-395-2222.
Each office independently owned and operated.
You can always call on Bostic Florists for beautiful floral arrangements for weddings or any other event you may have coming up. They offer exquisite taste in preparing the perfect arrangement. The staff of Bostic Florists would like to extend best wishes for this year's graduating class. Much deserved success for a bright future. Sherry would also like to extend out special congratulations to Angela Ekstrom, a graduate at East High School, and Jenna Brackett, graduate at Reach ICC. Best wishes, guys. This message is brought to you from your friends at Bostic Florist, North Main Street in Bostic.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt, at Insurance Service Associates about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
17 minutes after 8 o'clock. As I mentioned to Anita a moment ago, the North Carolina General Assembly is doing some things to help folks get out of the house, stop being paid to stay at home, and find some of these jobs. The State House has voted to make North Carolina the 26th state to withdraw from the federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program, which provides an extra $300 a week in jobless benefits to the unemployed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Senate Bill 116 passed in a largely party-line 71-36 vote on Wednesday, June 3rd. In addition to ending the federal jobless benefits, the measure would exempt unemployment benefits from income tax and make expenses incurred from the Payroll Protection Plan loans tax deductible on businesses' state taxes. The federal jobless benefits are set to expire automatically September the 6th, but Republican members of the House urged immediate action to get North Carolinians back into jobs. They said the state's summer tourist season is ramping up in the mountains and on the coast. And Representative Ray Prickett, who represents parts of Ashe and Watauga counties in western North Carolina, said we've started our tourist season, and many of our businesses cannot open because they don't have employees. This is killing small-town North Carolina, said Brendan Jones, Republican from Columbus. Many of you get to sit in the largest cities and you don't see the effect of all of this. So they're encouraging folks. See, it'd be one thing if there were no jobs available and people couldn't go to work, and then the government sort of subsidizes what you're doing. But there are plenty of jobs. Everybody just about can find a job in some category. You may not be, you cannot start on the top level. You cannot get these jobs and start as president of the company. I mean, you have to start down here at the lower level. But that's where we start. We start somewhere. Democrats are opposed to this law. They want to continue to pay you to stay at home, but the House Republicans are trying to do something about it. Former North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory, who is now running for the Republican nomination for the open U.S. Senate seat in 2020, waded into the debate with a statement posted on Facebook. He said the liberal nanny state first wants to pay people more not to work. Now some Washington politicians in our own party want hardworking taxpayers to pay cash to other people to go to work. This is all debt, our debt. We've got to stop growing the nanny state and get people's lives back together again. Well, Officer Randall was with us earlier. He gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department. It was a busy weekend, and Officer Randall gave it to us very thoroughly, and here it is.
Yes, sir. In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office has answered 242 calls, processed 19 arrests at the county jail, and currently have 177 incarcerated. Under our incident reports, we have a Matthew Scott Mann from 309 Emory Avenue reported a B&E to motor vehicle. Multiple items were taken out of the vehicle. We have a Luis Rodriguez from 302 Highland Avenue in Henrietta reported a B&E. Looks like 2 air conditioning units and a propane grill were taken in that. We have a Victor Frady from 421 Whitesides Road reported a larceny motor vehicle. Taken there was a 2000 Pontiac Montana van, gold in color. We have a Bobby Henson from Durham Road in Mooresboro reported a breaking and entering. Taken there was various tools, a radio, and a CD player. We have a Marvin Arland from Jacobs Lane in Rutherford reported a breaking and entering. Taken there was like jewelry and some clothing items. We have a Devin Clark from Mooresboro reported a identity fraud case. We have Dollar General from Main Street, Ellenboro, reported a misdemeanor larceny. We have In His Hands Independent Baptist Church from Hopewell Road in Ellenboro, reported a misdemeanor larceny. It looks like their converter off their church van was taken, and the air conditioning line was damaged in that incident. Under our arrest reports, we have a Sherry Gail Maccabee, 49-year-old white female of Rutherford, was charged with breaking and entering, assault on a government official, and resisting an officer. She was given a $17,500 secure bond. We have a Elena Rodriguez, 28-year-old white female of Morrisboro, was charged with 1 count of obtaining property by false pretense, given a $10,000 unsecured bond. We have a Elena Danielle Haney, 29-year-old female of Ellenboro, charged with 2 counts, failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $1,500 secure bond. We have a Amber Self, 32-year-old white female of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 unsecured bond. We have a Christina Nicole Teague, 32-year-old white female of Rutherford, charged with 1 count of misuse of 911, given a $1,000 secure bond. We have a Michael Sean Green, 40-year-old white male of Ellenboro, charged with 1 count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secure bond. We have a Tony Hodge, 30-year-old white male of Ellenboro, charged with possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia, given a $10,000 secure bond. We have a Billy Jack Stevenson, 49-year-old white male of Bavard, charged with, looks like failure to appear on a felony, given a $10,000 secure bond. We have a Kegan Henson of Chesney, charged with multiple counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor and charged with misdemeanor larceny, given a $2,500 secure bond. We have a Martin Moreno, 29-year-old Hispanic male Spindale, charged with 1 count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $4,000 secured bond. We have a Corey Williams, 36-year-old white male of Spindale, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $2,000 secured bond. We have a Charlie Ellison, 24-year-old white female of Far City, charged with 1 count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secured bond. We have a Buddy Suttles, 42-year-old white male of Far City, charged with 1 count of communicating threats. Looks like no bond listed on that. And we have a Jimmy Weston Robson, 49-year-old white male of Far City, charged with speeding to elude arrest, possession of Schedule II, and possession of drug paraphernalia, given a $15,000 secured bond on that. And that's all we have.
And Canes produced 8 goals in the second period alone. At one point, the Canes were up 4-2, but penalties eventually did them in. The defending Stanley Cup champions' man advantage proved lethal, scoring 3 power play goals en route to a 6-4 victory on home ice. Rod Brindamore afterward was just exhausted, if not mentally.
We knew coming in you can't take penalties against these guys. I think there was some frustration that they were penalties, but there was definitely some the other way that were getting let go. I think that's where the frustration was happening. We were in good spots, and then obviously the penalties is what turned the game. Can't take the risk, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Carolina is the home team for tomorrow's do-or-die scenario. The Hurricanes down 3-1 in the series with Tampa Bay. The NHL, meanwhile, has received an exemption from Canadian health officials, and that will allow border-crossing travel for teams starting in the semifinal round of the playoffs. This is NCN Sports.
For more than 30 years, the NC Rural Center has been working to secure a more vibrant future for our state's rural people and places. We operate in North Carolina's 80 rural counties with a special focus on individuals with low to moderate incomes and communities with limited resources. Whether it's through advocacy, small business lending, leadership training, or community development initiatives, the NC Rural Center works to build a brighter future for all. To learn more about our programs, visit ncruralcenter.org. NC Rural Center, building vibrant rural communities.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops in 2020 and 2021. Our philosophy is simple. Be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Kyle Larson beat teammate Chase Elliott in overtime at Sonoma Raceway Sunday to win his second consecutive race. It continued a month of dominance for Hendrick Motorsports. Larson's win a week ago at the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway made Rick Hendrick the winningest owner in NASCAR history. Hendrick drivers have won 4 straight, dating back to May 16th. In the College World Series, Devontae Brown hit a grand slam to cap NC State's 6-run 5th inning, and the Wolfpack beat 1-seed Louisiana Tech 14-7 to win the Ruston Regional. Super Regional berth for second-seeded NC State is their first since advancing to the College World Series in 2013. Zach Pettaway threw the first complete game of his career, and regional number 2 seed UCLA eliminated 3-seed North Carolina 12-2 to advance to the Lubbock Regional Final. Liberty dominated Duke 15-4 in the Knoxville Regional. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Keep your umbrellas handy this week. We have a fairly unsettled weather pattern with a lot of moisture moving in from the south. Mostly cloudy today, a few showers and thunderstorms possible with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Some isolated storms possible overnight tonight with low temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s. And mostly cloudy skies Tuesday with scattered showers and thunderstorms and high temperatures back in the middle to upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Cloudy and 71 degrees. Some sections getting a little rain already this morning. There may be more. There is about an 80% chance of showers this afternoon, 60% tonight, and 70% on Tuesday, and then 50% Tuesday night. So the rain is on our way. If you have not gotten yours yet, you probably will sometime within the next 24 hours. We hope you get some. Right now, 71 degrees. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Larry King Jr.
Good morning, Rutherford County. This is Larry King with you today with Word of Faith Fellowship. So happy to be here with you today. And I was thinking about something today, just being grateful and thankful. And, I've been at Word of Faith for almost 30 years. At 30 years, that's a very long time. And in the midst of all that, God has done a lot in my heart, changed my heart, and done a great work in my heart. And what I wanted to share with you today is some of what helped me. I think that's pretty much what any of us, when we come here, we share about the things that God has done in our hearts to help us to be able to make it with Him. So the thing I want to share about today is God wants us to be lovers of truth, seekers of truth, and to find out what truth is in anything and everything that we're doing on our daily walk. I remember when I first came to the church back in 91, 92, something like that. And I remember hearing Jane preach about you don't have to sin. And as she was sharing, I grew up in the church, but I got grown so separated and so far apart from God that when she began to preach you don't have to sin, I began to think, what is sin? What is sin? And, and it's like, but the more that she would share the word, it's like it began to bear witness on the inside of me. But that truth, and we had to get through so much of the lies that I believed that I allowed to come into my heart. So I want to share some scriptures with you about truth and what truth is. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 15, the word of God says, rather, let our lives lovingly express truth. You hear that? Lovingly express truth in all things, speaking truly, dealing truly, living truly. What was it? Last time I was with you, I began to share about the words of our mouth and what comes out of them. Are we speaking by the Spirit of God? And speaking by the Spirit of God is speaking truly and dealing truly. It says, enfolded in love, let us grow up in every way and in all things into Him who is the head, even Christ the Messiah. So God wants our lives. He wants us to live, speak, and deal truly in everything. Think about it, your daily walk. How many things that you say that come out are just foolish and not speaking truly and speaking by the Spirit of God. God wants us to deal with that. Another verse is in John chapter 4. It says, verse 23. This is whenever Jesus was at the well, the woman at the well, and he began to talk to the Samaritan, and he said, a time will come, this is Jesus speaking, however, indeed is already here, when the true, genuine worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. And in parentheses, it says reality. See, God wants us to be real, genuine people. And, I gravitate to those type people that are real people. And when I came here, it's like something was different about the people here. They were real, genuine, because I had grown up and being, full of false personalities. And you see this person, you want to act like him. You hear this person, see the way this person dresses, you want to dress like them. And you weren't living in reality and here inquiring of God for truth. What is for you? What is your personality? It says the true genuine worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth and reality. And the Father is seeking just such people as these as His worshipers. He wants those people to worship Him that are genuine and in reality. Verse 24 says, God is a spirit, a spiritual being, and those who worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. Reality. In spirit and in truth. That says a lot there. In reality, God is a spiritual being. So truth is spiritual. Truth is a spiritual aspect. So let me jump over here to John and John 18, because this is whenever Jesus was he had been betrayed and he was about to go to the cross. And the Pharisees were just finding, please, they knew that they couldn't do it, but they were trying to get other people to crucify him. So Jesus was standing before Pilate. This is John 18. Verse 33. So Pilate went back again into the judgment hall and called Jesus and asked him. He asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" So Jesus replied, "Are you saying this of yourself or on your own initiative, or have others told you about me?" And Pilate answered him, "Am I a Jew?" He says, "Your own people and nation and the chief priests have delivered you to me. What have you done?" So Jesus answered him, "My kingship, royal power belongs not to this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my followers would have been fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here, this world. It has no such origin or source." And it goes on. And Pilate said to him, this is what Pilate said, "Then you are a king." And Jesus answered, "You say it, you speak correctly." So Jesus was telling him, "You're speaking truth right now. Yeah, this is correct. I am a king. For I am a king," Jesus said. "Certainly I'm a king. This is why I was born, and for this I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth." You hear that? That's why Jesus came, to bear witness to the truth. He says, "Everyone who is of the truth, who is a friend of the truth, who belongs to the truth, hears and listens to my voice." Listen to what Pilate said here. Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" That's real powerful right there. So right then at that moment, Pilate said, "What is truth?" I know many times in my walk with God, I had to settle down on the inside when someone has come to me out of the love of God to point something out to me that they felt like that was hindering me from walking with God. I had to settle down on the inside, because what happens is, what does it say in Proverbs? The man's ways are, they're right in your own eyes, but there's a way that's God's way, and then there's a way that there's no three kingdoms. Either there's the kingdom of God, or you listen to the devil, and there's no Larry kingdom. I'm going to hear the voice of God. I'm going to hear truth. So I had to settle down on the inside and say, what is truth? Just like what Pilate said here. So what is truth? But you know what happened? Pilate didn't wait around for Jesus to tell him what truth was. What did he do? He walked away. That was his opportunity right there to find the truth. God could have changed his heart right there. But you know what? What did he do? He walked away. God doesn't want us to walk away whenever, we don't understand something. God wants us to settle down and find out what truth is. On saying this, he went out to the Jews and told them, "I find no fault in him." So he had some element of truth right there, because there was no fault. Jesus, there was no sin. So, but he missed his opportunity. That's, God doesn't want us to miss our opportunity like that whenever, something comes to us. God wants us to settle down, and find out what truth is. I'm going to jump over to John 16. It says, right here, it says, "However, I'm telling you nothing but the truth." This is Jesus again. He's speaking to his disciples and began to tell you he's about to go away and what was going to happen. But he was trying to tell him it's profitable if I go away, because it's advantageous for you if I go away. Because if I do not go away, the Comforter, the Counselor, the Helper, the Advocate, the Intercessor, the Strengthener, the Standby, that's what truth is, will not come to you into close fellowship with you. But if I do go away, I will send him to you to be in close fellowship with you. And this is God telling him what was about to happen, because he was going to go away. And what was he going to do? He was going to send the Holy Spirit to come to live and dwell on inside of us. It was I'll read on. It was called the truth-giving Spirit. It says, "And when he comes, he will convict and convince the world, bring demonstration to it about sin, about righteousness, uprightness of heart, and right standing with God, and about judgment." See, that truth, when it comes on the inside of us and we allow truth to enter our hearts, it begins to teach us about these things, about sin, about righteousness, uprightness of heart, and right standing with God, because he says, "I'm going to the Father." And we weren't going to see him any longer, but he was going to send his Spirit to live on the inside of us. And so in verse 13, listen, this is very good. It said, "But when he, the Spirit of truth," remember I shared about that this is spiritual, truth is spiritual, and God's seeking worshipers to worship him in spirit and truth. But when the spirit of truth, the truth-giving spirit comes, he will guide you into all truth, the whole full truth. For he will not speak his own message on his own authority, but he will tell whatever he hears from the Father. He will give the message that has been given to him, and he will announce and declare to you the things that are to come that will happen in the future. The truth-giving spirit, it is spiritual. Truth is spiritual. Verse 14, he will honor and glorify me because he will draw upon what is mine, and he will reveal, declare, disclose, transmit it to you. Thinking about that, I share this a lot because it's a testimony to me. I was studying for the real estate exam. I mean, there was a lot of material, and I had studied and studied and studied, and I was exhausted, and I had to stop. And I heard the voice of God real clear, speak truth to me. He says, what you studied, he said, I will bring it back and reveal it to you. And that's called the truth-giving spirit. Think about it when you go to take a test. You're thinking, oh, is that the right answer? And then all of a sudden you change it. And then when you get the test back, you go, oh, I had the answer the whole time. And see, the spirit of truth, it says he will declare and transmit the truth to us. And that's what we want. That's what we need to cry out to God. And that's what I'm still doing that. I still do that on a daily basis. So I'm going to share this with you. In John chapter 3, there was a certain man, the Pharisee, his name was Nicodemus. And he was a ruler, a leader, an authority among the Jews. He was. And so listen what happened, excuse me, with Nicodemus. He said, he came to Jesus at night. So I read that. I was like, well, why did he come at night? I mean, why couldn't he come in the daytime? Well, he was I'm sure it was a humbling thing. And he knew that his, the Pharisees were constantly attacking Jesus. But he came to him at night. And he said, Rabbi, we know and are certain that you have come from God. Listen, that was truth right there. As a teacher, for no one can do these signs and wonder works, these miracles, and produce the proofs that you do unless God is with him. See, Nicodemus is speaking truth right there. And Jesus answered him, I assure you, most solemnly I tell you, that unless a person is born again, see, that's what it requires. It requires, excuse me, it requires us to be born again by the Spirit of God. It says, unless a person is born again anew from above, he cannot ever see, know, be acquainted with, and experience the kingdom of God. And Nicodemus said to him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter his mother's womb again and be born? Think about that. I'm going to read that and say, how foolish. I mean, it's like, can he not understand what Jesus was saying? But think about it in your own life. How many times has people said things to you and it's like it just didn't bear, just couldn't get it. And so Nicodemus said, how can a man be born when he is old? And Jesus answered him, I tell you, unless a man is born of water, even a spirit, remember, spirit is the spirit of truth, he cannot ever enter the kingdom of God. And so Nicodemus said, Jesus said, marvel not, do not be surprised when I'm telling you that you all must be born anew from above. We got to be born again. So Nicodemus answered by asking, how can all this be possible? And Jesus replied, he said, this is what Jesus said to him, are you the teacher of Israel, and yet you do not know and understand these things? Are they strange to you? I assure you, most solemnly I tell you, we speak only what we know, absolutely what we're talking about, because we have actually seen what we are testifying to. So, and that's the thing. When you've had that experience with God, it's like that truth is on the inside of you, and there's nothing that should be able to take that away from you, except unless you allow it to happen. It says, and so I'm going to jump down here because he begins to talk more about why he came, for God so loved the world, he gave his son. And then Jesus went on to say in verse 19, the basis, the judgment, the indictment, the test by which men are judged, the ground for the sentence lies in this. The light has come into the world. The light is capitalized there. That means that's the truth. That's Jesus. Has come into the world, and the people have loved darkness rather than and more than the light, for their works and their deeds were evil. Think about where we're at right now in this world. There's a lot of people that love darkness, and it's like, and even in my own life, I didn't think, that, I love darkness, but when you don't have truth on something, you're walking around, you're stumbling around in the dark. And you need that truth-giving spirit. But how you get that is you ask Jesus to come on the inside of you, live and dwell, and you're born again by the Spirit of God, and you have a whole new way of thinking, you seeing, living. You're born again. Verse 20. Every wrongdoer hates, loathes, detests the light, and he will not come out into the light, but shrinks from it, lest his works, his deeds, his activities, his conduct be exposed and reproved. Every wrongdoer they hate the light. I mean, let that not be us. We don't want to be one of those that hate the light. And think about it, the reason they don't come out in it, because they've already made up their mind and their decision that what they want to do, I want to do it this way. And it's like, and so when your heart is set on doing something and someone says, I don't know if you need to do that. I don't really, I just, for some reason, it just doesn't feel like that's something that you need to do. Oh, I want to do it anyway, and what happens a lot of times when you have somebody that loves you, like Jesus was loving Nicodemus and sharing with him out of the love of God. That's what it says. What did it say? I read the verse at the very beginning. Let our loves lovingly express truth. So when someone is lovingly expressing truth to you, you need to settle down on the inside to be able to say, wait a minute. Now, what is truth? Like Pilate said, what is truth? And let the Spirit of God speak to you. But in verse 21, but he who practices truth, who does what is right, comes out into the light, which in the light is capitalized, and that's Jesus, and that is true, so that his works may be plainly shown to be what they are. Wrought with God. What does that mean? Divinely prompted, done with God's help, and dependence upon him. And so that's what we want. We don't want to be those wrongdoers that hate, loathe, and detest alike. I want to share an example. It's in the Old Testament. It has to do with two kings. And it has to do with Jehoshaphat. He was the king of Judah. And he came down to the king of Israel, which was Ahab. And so Ahab said to Jehoshaphat, he said, will you go down with me to Ramoth Gilead to battle? Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, said to Ahab, I'm as you are. My people are your people. My horses are your horses. But Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, he said this to Ahab, inquire first, I pray you, for the word of the Lord today. So that's what we need to do. Anything we're doing, it's like before we're rash and we make a decision or do something, it's like, slow down and said, let us inquire of the word of the Lord. What is the will of God? A lot of people don't like it, you'll come to somebody and they'll say, can you do this or this? They say, well, let me pray about it. Pray about it? I mean, come on. It's like, this is great. This is going to be, and people, that don't have the Spirit of God on the inside of them don't understand. What do you mean pray about it? I mean, God gave you a good mind. Why don't you use it? But no. God wants us to inquire, God, what? Jesus, is that your voice speaking to me? Help, slow down. That's what Jehoshaphat did here. He said, wait a minute, let's inquire God to see if this is the will of God. So then Ahab, king of Israel, what did he do? He gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said to them, shall I go up against Ramoth Gilead to battle? It's 400 of them. Or should I hold back? And they said, go up, for the Lord will deliver it into the hand of the king. Listen to Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat said, is there not yet another prophet of the Lord whom what we may ask? And Ahab, so what basically Jehoshaphat said, wait a minute, he's got 400 here. He said, is there not one more that we can inquire of? So Ahab, king of Israel, told Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, but by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But listen to this. He said, but I hate him. I hate him. For he never prophesies good for me, but evil. Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say that. So he hated this man because what I gather is that he is a truth. He is speaking truth to this king. Ahab, the king of Israel, told an officer, bring quickly Micaiah. So that's what they did. So he said, bring him here. And so all the prophets were saying, all the 400 were saying, go up. So the messenger, when he went to go get Micaiah, he said to him in verse 13, behold now, the prophets unanimously declare good to the king. Let your answer, I pray you, be like theirs, and say what is good. So that wasn't necessarily what was good. I mean, that was just what what the majority is saying, and that doesn't make it good because 400 were saying it. But Micaiah said, "As the Lord lives, I will speak what the Lord says to me," which that is true. So he came to the king Ahab, so he came to the king, and King Ahab said to Micaiah, "What shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we hold back?" And he answered, "Go and prosper, for the Lord will deliver it into the king's hands." I'm sure he was shocked because he said exactly what all the 400 prophets said. But what did Ahab do? He said, and the king said to him, "How many times must I charge you to tell me nothing but the truth in the name of the Lord?" Okay, so he really wanted to know. And so he said, and this is what Micaiah said. And he said, "I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace." Then the king of Israel, which is Ahab, said to Jehoshaphat, "Did I not tell you that he would prophesy no good concerning me but evil?" So think about it. Good was evil. Evil was good. So this man said, "This is evil," because he wanted to go up. And Micaiah said, "Hear the word of the Lord. This is Micaiah speaking, I saw the Lord sitting on his throne and the host of heaven standing by him at his right hand. And the Lord said, who will entice Ahab to go up and fight and fall at Ramoth Gilead? One said this way, another said that way. Then there came forth a spirit of whom I'm about to tell, and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. So remember I said truth is spiritual. Said, I will entice him. The Lord said to him, by what means? And he said, I will go forth and be a lying spirit. We got the truth-giving spirit. So here's a lying spirit in the mouths of all his prophets. The Lord said, shall you entice him? The Lord said, you shall entice him and exceed and go forth and do it. So the Lord, verse 23, put a lying spirit in the mouths of all these prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning you. So what happened? He said, so Ahab was so upset. And he said, take Micaiah, throw him in prison, feed him bread and water. When I come back, I'll deal with him. But Micaiah said, if you come back at all, God has not spoken by me. And what happened? You go on to read this, this is 1 Kings 22. It goes on, and he seduced Jehoshaphat to put on his kingly garment, and so the war broke forth, and the men of Syria said, don't fight with anybody but the king of Israel. And so what happened was Jehoshaphat cried out to God because they were coming after Ahab. But they backed off because he cried out to God, and they found Ahab, and he died. And someone shot a bow, and he died that night because he did not love the truth. He didn't like it. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. So that's an example of someone that didn't love the truth. I want to share one of you someone that did love the truth, and this is in Acts chapter 8. This is about Philip, was a disciple, apostle of God. And the Spirit of God had told him to rise and proceed south and go to Jerusalem, down to Gaza, and to the desert route. So Philip got up and went, and behold, there was an Ethiopian eunuch of great authority under Candace, the queen of Ethiopians, who was in charge of all the treasure, had come to Jerusalem to worship. And so as he was returning in the chariot, this Ethiopian eunuch was reading the book of Isaiah. And the Holy Spirit said to Philip, go up to the chariot. Accordingly, Philip, running up to the Ethiopian, he heard the man reading the prophet Isaiah and asked, do you really understand what you are reading? And he said, this is what the eunuch said. And he said, how is it possible for me to understand unless someone explains it to me? See, that's what we need. We need someone to be able to explain the scriptures, and that's what I've gotten since I've been here, and guides me in the right way. And he earnestly requested Philip to come up and sit beside him. And so he was reading a passage of scripture in Isaiah, and they began to talk about what was going to happen to Jesus. It says, and the eunuch said to Philip, I beg of you, tell me about who does the prophet say this about himself or someone else when he's reading? And as it said, then Philip opened his mouth and began to explain the scriptures to him, announced the glad tidings of the gospel to him. And they continued along the way, and they came to some water as he was preaching. And the eunuch explained, see, here's water. Who is to hinder me from being baptized? So that truth that came to the eunuch, it began to convict his heart. And Philip said to him, if you believe with all your heart, if you have a conviction full of joyful trust that Jesus is the Messiah, and you accept him as the author of salvation in the kingdom of God, giving him your obedience, then you may. And he replied, I do believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. He believed it. He believed it in his heart. And so the word of God was coming, had convicted that truth. And in verse 38, and he ordered the chariot to be stopped, and both Philip and the eunuch went down into the water, and Philip was baptized. But then it says that Philip was caught up, but then the eunuch went away, and he was rejoicing. He was so grateful that Philip had stopped long enough to begin to explain those scriptures to him. I mean, that's what we need. I mean, there's many times I didn't understand something that was coming forth, but I settled down. Many times I didn't understand, but people will come and I begin to ask questions, and that word would come, and the light bulb will come on. Last thing I want to share here is in 1 Samuel 26, and this is King David. King David was being pursued always about, he was not the king yet, but Saul was pursuing him. And so, because the kingdom had been stripped from Saul and had given to David, and he was pursuing David with so much hatred. And so there was a time that they were pursuing him, and David and another man of David's number went down into the camp and took the spear and water bottle from David's head, from Saul's head, and they went away to another place and began to call out to Saul to let him know what had happened. And so, and David stood a ways off and to let him know that God had given David Saul into his hands, that he could have killed him, but he did not. And David said, and this is what David said, so why does the Lord thus pursue his servant? What have I done, or what evil is in my hand tonight? Now therefore I pray, let my Lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord has stirred you up against me, let him accept an offering. So basically he's pleading his cause here. So he's saying, why are you doing this? And, and Saul realized that he could have been killed, but David didn't do it. So what happened? Then said Saul, this is Saul, he said, I have sinned. Return, my son. I will do you no more harm, because my life was precious in your eyes this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and I have erred exceedingly. So basically, he acknowledged truth right there, that he had played the fool. But what's powerful, if you read this footnote, and this is 1 Samuel 26. If you read the footnote of 1 Samuel 26, this is what the footnote said when he said that about playing the fool. It says, when for a moment a man is off guard, in all probability you will know more truth about him in all his attempts either to reveal himself or to hide himself. The ever-present consciousness habitually hidden flashes forth. Later he may apologize and say he did not mean what he said. The fact that he was surprised into saying what he was constantly thinking. In all probability, he had never said that before, and may never say it again. But he had been thinking it for a long time. I played the fool. There is no escape from any man as long as reason continues from the naked truth about himself. He may practice deceit so skillfully as not only to hide himself from his fellow men. But listen, I want to share this real quick. Jump over here. There's a scripture on Psalms 90, verse 8. Our iniquities, our secret heart, and its sins, which we would like to conceal even from ourselves. It says, you have set in the revealing light of your countenance. It says, he may practice deceit and to hide himself, but it is unutterable folly to imagine he has hidden himself from God. But he can never hide himself from himself. In some moment of stress and strain, he says what he has been thinking all the time. I have played the fool. So basically, what the Spirit of God is saying here is that when we settle down on the inside of ourselves, we will begin to be able to hear, and we're humble. We will begin to hear the voice of God. Like it says, our iniquities, our secret hearts, things that we don't want to see. God wants us to be able to see them because he wants us to have a change of heart. All of a sudden here, it's really good if you go back and read it. because he uttered the truth out of his mouth, and he heard God tell him that what he was doing was absolutely foolish, that he was not a lover of truth. So I hope what I shared with you today, I hope that it witnessed to you and it stirs up on the inside of you to become a lover of truth, to seek truth. Because what does it say? God is seeking such worshipers of him that will worship him in spirit, in truth, and reality. We love you. Thank you for listening. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8:30 to 9. We love you. Have a blessed day.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
Emergency is only getting worse. The state's 1,500 reservoirs are 50% lower than they should be at this time of the year.
That's ABC's Mona Koser-Abdi. A vaccine milestone for the United States, but the push is still on for more shots in arms.
Well done.
At the historic Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem, First Lady Jill Biden and Dr. Anthony Fauci visited a vaccination clinic that has immunized 12,000 people against COVID-19.
We're going to end this outbreak for absolutely certain. And the vehicle to ending it is vaccination.
Churches, Dr. Monica Shaw, who runs the clinic, said play a key role.
They know that this is a place of God and a place of trust.
50% of Americans over 12 are now fully vaccinated, and the goal is to get more shots in